Hello everyone. In this video, In this video, I'm going to be making my treehouse base. I could have just gone and built like a big house or like a town, but I was like, I quite like building natural things. I don't know why. It's always felt really. It feels good to build natural things. I always build cave bases or tree houses. Like just big trees and then just living on the inside of them. I find that quite fun. So yeah, if you want to see me make this, then stay tuned. I've got a time lapse of it, which I hope you enjoy. Alright, so at this point I'm gathering wood, because to build a treehouse, you need trees. I was exploring, running away from bears, and it's very satisfying getting wood in this game. And the great thing about this is that you can just cut one piece of wood and the whole thing comes down, which is very helpful because it means I can gather wood really fast. Okay, so the next thing I did was start building an outline for the treehouse. You can see I already have built a like a circle of torches, just as a basic guide. And here I'm placing down a mixture of ash and oak, because I thought like some kind of texture and gradient might be interesting to have the darker ash at the bottom, and I wanted it to gradually get brighter. And yeah, you can see I'm curving the tree where I thought the branches would be, and I'm gradually just working around the whole circle. One thing about this game so far that I'm finding a bit problematic is that you can see the inside of the wooden logs, and there's no way that I know of, at least, where you can remove that. The thing is, I found naturally I found logs that spawn with all of their faces rounded, so none of the inside pattern showing. So I was thinking, how do I do that? I tried using a hammer and it didn't work. So, yeah. Just a small problem, which probably is going to be fixed later on as well. Here I experimented with the hardwood planks, because I wanted to see if they would work well with the gradient, and also they seem to add like a good texture. I was comparing them to the colour of the oak log and the beech log, and it seems like they fit quite well in between those colours. Honestly, I didn't really plan this build much at all. I kind of just thought, just make a circle and make a tree. And then I just got on with it. Because I'm just not really that kind of person that plans stuff too much. I mean, obviously with some certain things you kind of have to. Oh, look, it looks like I died from full damage there. That's a bit embarrassing. But yeah, it kind of depends what you're doing. But the nice thing for me about doing natural structures like this is that there's not much planning you need. You just kind of have to think about trees whilst you're doing it. Just imagine you're like carving out the shape of a tree. Here I start building up, and you can see this is where I'm making the gradient from ash to oak to beech. And in between oak and beech I use the hardwood planks to provide like a more softer gradient. However, it's at this point where I notice that that I'm not really a fan of how low down the branches in the tree, because I've made the base of the tree quite large, so it doesn't really make any sense. But I thought that if I just kept on building, it would gradually fix itself, which, I mean, to an extent, no, it didn't really work out, but I can easily change that in the future. For now, I just wanted to fill in the trunk of the tree. For a brief moment I experimented with vertical slabs. This was mainly to cover up the inside of the tree trunks, because it just such a it doesn't make the tree look smooth. And I actually think it works quite well. I mean, obviously if you look close enough you'll see that it's not it has its own texture, but maybe a bit of texture is good. With the branches, I tried to branch higher as well, because I thought that would fix the problem. But yeah, I didn't really do much. Kind of just made it look more like just like a bush, rather than a tree. So I think next time I play, I'm going to bring up the trunk more higher. I'm gonna make it more flat, and then I'm gonna make it curve out and have different branches a lot more higher than currently. I've basically finished the bottom base trunk area of the tree now, and I try making more branches, just to get a more confident idea in the shape, and if I really wanted to change it. But yeah, the more I looked at it, the more I was like, nah, I'm gonna work on the upper part later on. Yeah, this is me looking at the tree. I'm quite happy with how it is so far. And the inside, look how much space I have. So I'm thinking about making like a storied um, structure inside, where I have different stories, different floors, with different functions. So the bottom area would be for like basic crafting. But for now I just wanted to place down things and get a general idea of stuff. So here I start building a staircase. I want it to curve around the inside of the treehouse. I want it to kind of spiral upwards and cling to the inside of the bark. I've noticed building in Hytale is genuinely really relaxing, almost therapeutic. Obviously Minecraft is too, but the music in this game is really subtle. And at first I was kind of missing the grooves of a game like Terraria and the iconic melodies of Minecraft. But the music in here is more classical and it's more subtle, but it actually has a really big effect. It almost brings me back to watching classical films. The music in those films was very adventurous, and that's what the music in this game does well. I built these cobblestone pillars to give a sense of structure, as if they're supporting the stairs, and I think it works well in adding a contrast to the color of the wood, and it really makes this bottom area look more solid and more foundational in a way that's good. So I finished the first floor and thinking about what I want to put here. I noticed Hytale has some decorative blocks and items, so I put down a couple of books next to the furniture workbench, which I placed down, and I quite like that. It's really nice that there's decoration blocks like that, just to add a bit of character and personality to your build, and to fill in those empty spaces. Here I'm filling in the edges of the inside of the tree with stone, so that it kind of is like supporting it from toppling over, since it's so hollow on the inside. It's giving it a bit of structure. I also put down a blacksmith, like an anvil set up, which makes sense I think for the bottom, because there's no wood here. Well, there is wood, but it's not as much. Because if there was wood, then obviously it would catch on fire. Oh yeah, I made a little seating area here. Yeah, it's quite cool that you can sit down on the seats like that. I tried making a chimney to the furnace, because I really like the idea of a chimney running through the whole tree and coming out at like a curve in the tree, and then jutting out like that. I really like the idea of that, but sadly, just the way that the furnace is modelled, I don't know. I tried doing something like that, but it didn't really work. But I might revisit that idea in the future. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, feel free to like and share the video too. I'd appreciate any comments, any suggestions you have for the base. And yeah, hope you have a good day.